Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. I hope that all of you are good and safe and sound at home. Students, yesterday we did the active passive of present continuous tense. We have also done with the passive voice of present indefinite tense, right? So today we are to deal with the next one topic, that is present perfect tense, right? Active passive of present perfect tense. So there are rules, certain rules you need to follow while changing the active voice into passive voice for present perfect tense as well. So the first one rule is the same one I told you before in the previous one, tenses, that you need to shift or replace the subject with the object and object with the subject. So the first one rule is object becomes subject here. Then comes third form of verb. We use third form of verb while changing the active into passive voice. Then comes has been and have been. Use of has been and have been. Why is it so? Because we use in active voice of present perfect tense, we use has and have as a helping verb. So we are to add here been with has and have. Then we use by in the passive voice if there is object in it, right? Then after that we write subject instead of object, right, in the place of object. So the subject becomes object. And the last one thing that you need to keep in mind is change of pronouns. I told you in the previous lecture as well that you need to convert the subject pronouns into object pronouns while changing the active voice into passive voice. So the structures you need to follow while changing the active into passive voice. The first one, structure for affirmative sentence, the simple one sentences. Here is the active voice. He has written a letter. This one is the structure we follow in active voice. First we write subject, that is he here. Then we write helping verb. Then comes third form of verb. Then we write object, right? So this one is the active voice. When we are to change into passive voice, we change the structure. We write first object, right, because we replace object with the subject and subject with the object. Then comes helping verb. Now here you are to keep in mind that helping verb has been will be used here, right? Not only has or have. So has been written by, written here third form of verb, then comes by, and after that we write here subject instead of the object or in place of the object. This is the passive voice of this one sentence. You need to follow this one structure while changing the active voice of present perfect tense into passive voice. All right, next one is structure for the negative sentence you need to follow. First one, look at this one. This one is the active voice of present perfect tense. He has not written a letter, right? So here this one is the negative one. We are using here not. The subject comes first, then after that we write helping verb, then we write not after helping verb, has or have. Then comes third form of verb, and then we use here object. But when we are to change this one into passive voice, we change the structure as well. We write first object, that is a letter here, right? Then comes helping verb. Now you are to use a half helping verb here because we are talking about the negative sentence. So you need to write not between has been or have been, right? You cannot say that has been not or have been not. So you need to follow this one structure. Object comes first, then comes has or have not been, then comes third form of verb, then we write by if there is an object, right, in the sentence. Then comes subject at the end. So a letter has not been written by him. This one is the passive voice of this active one, right? All right, next one is the structure for interrogative sentence. So the simple one or the active one is structure you need to follow while in the present perfect tense is helping verb we write first, then comes subject, then we write third form of verb, and then we write the object here, and after that we put here a question mark. This one is the structure for active one, right, in present perfect tense. Has he written a letter, question mark. If we want to change this one active into passive voice, we need to follow this one structure, right? First we write helping verb now you are to write half helping verb, right? Has or have, then comes object here. When we replace the subject with the object, right, we are to write here first object after half helping verb, then we write been here, the rest of the helping verb, then we write third form of verb, then by, and after that we write subject here because we replace the subject with the object and object with the subject. Here is a question mark because we are to change the negative into negative, affirmative into affirmative, and interrogative into interrogative sentences, right? The sentence will remain the same, just you are to change the structure of the sentence while changing the active into passive voice. So has a letter been written by him, question mark. This one is the passive voice of this active one, right? So these were the structures you need to follow while changing the active into passive voice of present perfect tense. Now here is exercise for you. Let me read it for you. Number one is, this one is active. Sana has challenged her. Passive is, she has been challenged by Sana. Number two is active one. She has created this masterpiece. Now the passive is, this masterpiece has been created by her. Number three is active one. Ali has not written an article. Now this one is the negative one. You are to change it into negative. Passive is, an article has not been written by Ali. Last one is active one. Have they left the apartment? Question mark. Now this one is the interrogative sentence. You are to change it into the same one, interrogative, right? So the passive is, has apartment been left by them? Question mark. So this one is the exercise, students. Next one thing is test for you. Yes, it is of 5 marks. Let me read it for you. Rewrite the sentences in passive voice, or you can say change the voice. You are to change the voice, active voice, into passive voice. Number one is, I have worn blue shoes. Number two is, we have lost the key. Number three is, they have not bought the paper. This one is the negative one. Number four is, she has not noticed me. Number five is interrogative one. Has he recorded that song? Question mark, right? So these are the 5 sentences you need to change from active into passive voice, right? All right, this one is your diary for today. Practice the given exercise. I told you before, this one exercise you need to practice on your rough notebooks, right? Practice the given exercise on rough notebooks and solve the test. You are to solve the test and send it to me, right? This was all about today's lecture, students. I hope that all of the points are clear. If there is still ambiguity, you may ask me, right? Thank you very much.